Let's make a podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Full Circus. My name is Tristan Sartoris, and I'm so happy and overjoyed to have you here with me today. And on today's episode of the podcast, we are practicing Stoicism. Now, if you don't know what Stoicism is, it basically just relates. Guys, I can't talk like this. It sucks. It's so freaking boring. Guys, my name is Tristan Sartoris, and welcome back to Full Circus, baby. I'm so happy. I'm really happy to have you guys here with me again. So that little bit, stoicism, dude, to be stoic and kind of reserved and don't show too much emotion. It's not me. It's not who I want to be. And I just got off set, actually, and I have barely said a word for the past 3 hours because I started a bit. People are kind of reserved, and I'm outgoing and bouncy and doing my thing. I'm just being me, my real, genuine, authentic self. And I was like, you know what? I wonder what it's like to not talk so much. What is that? And the thought kind of crossed my mind, and I forget what sparked it, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to be stoic for a little bit. And like, what? What are you talking about? I was like, yeah, watch this. How's it going? Yeah. And I kind of just spoken to. And I wasn't cranky or grumpy. I was still respectful and polite, but I wasn't outgoing. I wasn't, just shoving conversation down people's throats and in their faces. I wasn't me. And let me tell you, okay, if you are stoic, I mean this in the most respectful way possible. You are so freaking boring, dude. I almost fell asleep 18 different times. Like, what do you even do? Like, why? I can't even say words, and we know how much I love the sound of my own voice, okay? Let's gauge the room. How much does Tristan like this sound that is happening right now? Is it 1? Is it 5? Is it 10? 200% or more. I have no idea. I'm just still speaking because I like it. It sounds good. But yeah, dude, it sucks. It's so bad. It is not who I want to be. You can kind of be an entertainer and do, through comedy or different practices. I don't know all the different ways to speak, but I do know that being stoic sucks. I hate it. And it was fun, though. It was fun at the time because I held on to it way longer than I wanted to. I was just kind of reserved, and after a while, people started trying to break me, right? Like, hey, try to crack a joke and see if we can make you smile, and I didn't plan on holding on to it for so long, but now it had been like 30 or 45 minutes. I was like, I don't know how to get out of this thing, and they would say something, I still kept holding on to it. And it was become a little bit of a problem for them, and I felt a little bad because they were like, "Come on, we need the Tristan back. Let's say something, try and get him out of his shell, right?" And you'd watch their smiles go from this, trying to get me the break, and I'm holding it deep, barely holding on, and then you'd watch their face go like this, yeah, right. Until the comedy, the happy, the joy from their face would turn into insecurity, like, oh my. Okay. And then that was making me laugh even more, but I also felt bad, but I couldn't come out of it, dude. Even after we got off set. We were in the dressing room, and that guy, have a good night, everyone. I was like, you guys have a great night. Drive safe. And I just walked. I walked away. This is the first time I've spoken in my normal dialect, my normal energy, and with such enthusiasm with every single word that I speak. And let me tell you, dude, it feels freaking good to be me. So I am sorry to everyone that was affected by my stoic presence. I will plan on maintaining and preserving this natural version of Tristan going forward because, dude, it feels good. And maybe it works for other people. Maybe that's just who you are. Maybe that's who you want to be. But for me, it sucks. It's lame. It's boring. I don't get it, dude. There's so many freaking words in the world. How can you live without not saying all of them? So that was my little experience with, stoicism. And it wasn't good. It wasn't good. But anyways, guys, what is freaking going on, man? I'm feeling happy, and I'm really feeling good being, myself. I'm an entertainer. That's what I like to do. I like to try and make other people laugh. And something that I've been trying to work on as well is making myself laugh. I spend most of my time trying to entertain, trying to, get a giggle here and there and trying to uplift people's day. But recently, I've been trying to do things just for me, not just like to make you feel good and relax, and you have a spa. I don't know what people do to like to relax and kind of make themselves feel better. But for me, I've been trying to entertain myself, which is a interesting process because you spend so much trying to make someone laugh, and you learn what makes them happy, what brings out the chuckle, and so on. And I've kind of been putting Tristan under the microscope, like what's Tristan really find funny? What's gonna make him giggle? What's gonna make him smile? And so now I'm having this little game of ping pong, it's a little battle where I'm trying to make myself laugh, which is really interesting and it's fun. So I've been having a blast. And one of the things I've been doing lately with people on set is when I, it's just so dumb, and I don't know if it's going to be interesting to you, but it's something that makes me happy, so normally I'll just go and compliment people and say, hey, you're looking great. Oh, I love the shirt, love the shoes, blah, blah, blah. I'm trying to make you feel good. Not stoic, just me, outgoing, having fun. But something I've been doing for my sake is I'll go up to, instead of just complimenting, something on them, I will look for the smallest little thing on their body. And I believe it was this morning, someone had they had glasses sticking out of this little chest pocket right here, and I can't even explain how small of a piece of glasses was sitting right there. They couldn't even be glasses for all I knew. But I went up to this guy and I wanted to tell him, I was like, hey man, I love your glasses, and that made me laugh so much because they're like, he said thank you, and he's like, wait. Huh? Like where what are you talking about? But he knew he had glasses on him, so he like received the compliment, but he was so bewildered, and that made me so happy. So that's something I've been doing a little bit more, is just complimenting the obscure things on people. They're like, what? Oh, thanks. Where what are you seeing right now? So yeah, you could compliment the aglets on their shoelaces, the cuffs on their jeans. Like, it's just something so stupid and minuscule, but it makes me happy, and so that's something I'm trying to do to really, build Tristan up and give him a good time. Another thing I've been doing on the sets, they have all these craft services and things you can go get, and people are always drinking coffee, trying to stay awake, getting snacks and doing whatever. And I don't drink coffee, right? I have a lot of energy already. I can't handle a bunch of milligrams of caffeine because I'll just be out of this world. But I don't need it, and I don't want it. I also hate the taste. It's bitter. It sucks. But I love this kind of idea of holding something, right? You have this coffee cup and it's the sign of maturation. You walk over, it's kind of stoic in a way, and you talk about the weather, whatever adults talk about. And I have a little bit of FOMO, right? Or like I miss out on this aspect of life of being this adult. So I started grabbing a coffee cup and I filled it with pop, or I've done chocolate milk, Mountain Dew, Diet Dr. Pepper, it just whatever, so on. But I'm putting it in this little cup, and it's not coffee at all. And I walk up to people who are having coffee and go, ooh, it's hot, and and I'm just lying. I'm saying it's coffee, and whether they believe me or they ask about it, they'll say, hey, how do you take your coffee? That's interesting. And it just I can't even hold it because I'm not stoic, and I just start laughing because it's so hilarious to me that it's dumb that I even pretend to have coffee. And is that funny to everybody? Probably not, but it makes me so overjoyed. So I've been walking around with Mountain Dew or whatever it may be, like, hey, how's the web? Yeah, politics. Oh, the world's a wreck, isn't it? Falling apart. Gas prices, am I right? Shoo! Yeah, how you doing today? How are the kids? Yeah, all right. And it's so ridiculous. Like, why am I doing that? And it makes me laugh even more when other people know that I'm doing it and they watch me go up to another group of people. And a couple of people are like, what's he doing? Why is he? It's Mountain Dew. He's not drinking coffee. And I'll go, It's just so dumb, but it does make me happy. And I would recommend this to do for everybody, right? If you are someone who does spend a lot of time trying to entertain other people or don't take care of yourself in that way, try to make yourself laugh in some ways. You gotta find the humor in every little situation, and it's been good. I've been having a lot of fun. So that's what I've been up to on set. Set as itself, it's not the most exciting. We've been pretty busy. But yeah, I'm having a blast, guys. Make yourself laugh. And that's kind of this podcast started in the first place, was I was just like, what? I think these things are funny. I want to make myself laugh. And I watch the podcast. I do. I am my own number one fan. That's the reason I'm not stoic, is because I love me so much. But yeah, that is the end of that story. Um, the set, dude. It's not been super interesting, but we have been going late hours, man. And I wanted to record this podcast earlier. This is not an early episode. It's not early in the week. It's not early in the day by any means. We are late in the AMs, and I know I said I wasn't gonna do that anymore, and I meant to stick to my guns on that. But I was working over the weekend, and I was working all throughout the week, and I was like, come on, man, there's got to be something. I wasn't just like desperately hoping and putting things off, hoping that life was going to grant me this little special opportunity to record. I was just kind of screwed the whole time, and I knew this was going to happen. But I've been trying to get sleep in preparation because you're working these 14, 15-hour days, and then you get home, and you're like, how am I going to do a podcast? How am I going to have enough energy to do that? And my only way of preserving such energy is to stay happy throughout the entire day and never get tired at all, or drained or down. And that's kind of where the whole, make myself happy even started. But yeah, the problem is because we start these early days, I've been trying to get enough sleep, and that's not always easy because I'm a horrible sleeper, especially when you find the humor in things. So what happened, it was 2 nights ago actually. I got in bed at 8 p.m., okay? 8 p.m., I had to be up at 5, and I was like, okay, 9 hours, I'm going to try and fall asleep within the hour, everything's going to be great. 9 p.m. rolls around. I'm still not sleeping. I'm like, okay, if I want to get 8, gotta sleep right now, okay? It's one of those things, we've all done this. We're always watching the clock, watching it wind down. If I do this, doing the math, how many hours of sleep can I get? And, 9 hours turned to 8, 8 turned to 7, 7 turned to 6. And eventually it was like 1 or 2 a.m. and I had 3 hours left. I was like, holy crap, I'm going to have 3 hours of sleep for another 14-hour day. Is this okay? Probably not. And I had this small second where I just started fuming, dude. I was getting so mad. I was like, oh, yeah, I have gotten bed at 8 p.m., right? I have been up for 6 hours in bed. I'm not on my phone, not doing anything. I'm like, how do I sleep? What do I do? Why can't fall asleep? And I was getting mad. And usually when you get really frustrated, you kind of become emotionally drained. Anger or sadness or fear. These are very draining emotions. And I was starting to get a little drowsy because of this. And I looked back over the clock, and it was now like 3:30 or 4 a.m. And my problem is that I do find the humor in things, dude. So I had 1 more hour to sleep before I had to wake up, and I just started laughing. It wasn't like sleep deprived, just kind of slap happy laughing. I genuinely thought it was so funny that I was trying to be so prepared and so proactive in my pursuit of getting sleep for this day that I could not sleep at all. I did all the things right. Took a shower, freaking warm milk, melatonin, laid down, got comfy in bed. Perfect situation, perfect storm, right? It was everything that needed to be, stars aligning. Everything was in place. And I was laying there for so long. So I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, 60 minutes. I have 60 minutes, 59, 58. And I just started laughing to myself, just out loud. And the fact that I was laughing about this unfortunate situation made me laugh even more. So long story short, I got about 15 minutes of sleep. And I couldn't help it. Have you ever tried to fall asleep super happy? Even if you're angry, like, oh, God, freaking so dumb. Or sad, you can kind of drain yourself to sleep. But has anyone ever told you the funniest joke ever? You've never fallen asleep laughing. And I was just sitting there laughing. I was so happy, and I was getting frustrated. And because I was getting frustrated, I was laughing even more. It was some sort of vicious cycle of optimistic behavior that I couldn't get out of, and I could not sleep for the life of me. And so that was funny in its own right. And the days have been long because of that. I have a hard time sleeping because I can be so happy sometimes. So I'm looking for more depressing sides of life in some ways, so I can get some better sleep. But it's everything's a silver lining, dude. There's always some upsides. There's always something. And again, even if I kind of find something bad, and if God forbid, an unfortunate situation comes up, I'm just gonna laugh at how unfortunate it is, right? I had another time over this weekend. I've been sleep deprived basically this whole week. Yeah, it seems to be a theme going on with this job so far. But yeah, I was sleep deprived. I had slept for about an hour over the night, and I was getting up because I was supposed to go watch my brother's dogs. And right before I left, I put the suitcase on the car. I'm getting in. I get a text, yard work day. I'm like, what? I'm like half asleep. I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me. We're about to do, 5 or 6 hours of yard work. We're mowing and mulching and edging and doing all this freaking crap. I was like, no, you can't do that. I didn't sleep because I was going to go somewhere else and sleep, right? That was the only reason I woke up, is because I'm going to get to the dogs and lay down there. And, and they're like, oh, you up? I'm like, yeah, I'm up. I didn't know I was responding for this situation. So we started doing yard work, and hours high outside in the sun, and I'm just wheelbarrowing the stuff. I'm dirty and filthy and half asleep. And I was, again, I snap for a little bit, for about 15 minutes or so. I get angry. I'm like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. This is so unfortunate. And my brain's like, dude, you can't believe what is going on. And the thing that turned that was we were doing the neighbor's yard as well, and I was moving some stuff over, and I knocked their freaking precious. They have these gnomes, these little glass or whatever material it is. These gnomes, they fell. I knocked them over, and they shattered. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna be in so much trouble. I'm gonna have to pay for this, blah blah blah, whatever. And then everything was raining down. I was getting frustrated, and then that was just the perfect storm of like, come on, isn't this kind of funny that you were trying to be a kind brother, go watch his dogs, and you got up early to be, extra respectful and professional, and then instead it flip flop on me, and now I'm doing yard work at 3 p.m. It's like I couldn't help but find the humor in the situation. So it can be a problem, but it is what it is. Everything's okay. Yeah. So like right now, even it's 3 a.m. and I wanted to do this podcast throughout the week, and instead I'm not going to get much sleep for the next day that we're going to be on set, because I'm going to be up doing this podcast and editing it and doing these things. But yeah, it's it's just an unfortunate situation. But you got to enjoy those, dude. You have to enjoy those. Obviously, there's a line. Not everything can have, it's like, oh, this sucks. But kind of funny that it does. There is a line. There are certain things like, oh, this just sucks. But I don't think there's too many of those going on for me, at least. So I'm pretty happy, and I like that I'm feeling this way. I would like to sleep some more, but even then, by feeling that and thinking that thought, that makes me a little happy, because it's just like, he's trying his best, and it's still not working. But anyways, what's going on, guys? This is the opposite of stoicism. I am just having a blast. What did happen over this? Oh, it was National Cheeseburger Day, guys. Can you believe that? There's always a day for something. So, yeah, McDonald's, they were having National Cheeseburger Day, and I didn't know this until I logged on the app, and they're like, 50-cent cheeseburgers. And I was like, oh, hot dog, gotta partake in that. I know I said it was my health kick, but, it was 50 cents, even health-conscious people know a good deal. So I was like, oh, gotta get some of these. And they said the maximum order you can get is 4. I'm like, well, I don't want 4 cheeseburgers, but, it's 50 cents. You gotta partake in the deal. I can put them aside, do whatever. It's cheeseburgers, right? So I order this thing, and I pull up 4 cheeseburgers ready to go. It's only $2. How exciting is that? You gotta love America. The easiest place to get fat on earth. Yeah, so welcome to America. If you thought being obese was hard before, just wait till National Cheeseburger Day. So anyways, I order this thing. I'm excited because I'm, getting burgers for 50 cents. And I roll around, and I'm like, hey, I gotta pick up, my code is MX, blah, blah, blah. And like, oh, you're the 4 cheeseburger guy. And I'm like, all right, that was an interesting way of addressing me. Yeah, Tristan, that's the name on the order. It should be. And I felt like they were judging me a little bit, and I felt a little weird because I was getting 4 cheeseburgers. Who needs 4 cheeseburgers? I wasn't trying to be gluttonous, but I was just, taking advantage of the deal that was presented to me. So I ordered these 4 cheeseburgers, and they call me the 4 cheeseburger guy, and you know how they used to have these little blue screens right on the little speaker thing, and you say, oh, this is the price. I did not realize that the jumbotron that they have in front of the thing, that you like, the menu that they show, switches to that afterwards. So I'm like, yeah, that's the thing. Like, okay, just pull around to the first window, and the thing changes off the menu, and everyone's looking at the menu because they're behind me, like trying to select what they want to get, and all of a sudden it switches to total freaking 4 cheeseburgers, and I feel people like murmur, what? Oh my gosh, you got 4 cheeseburgers. Who gets 4 cheeseburgers? I know it's 50 cents, but golly, it's freaking gone with the fatty. I was like, oh, gee, hey, you say a little quieter, and I'd look up at the screen. Oh, hey, don't be giving away my order. I just wanted 4 cheese. I just wanted a good deal. I didn't want 4 cheeseburgers to eat. I just wanted 4 cheeseburgers in general to have, to possess, because it was so fantastic. It was National Cheeseburger Day. I was being patriotic for such things. So yeah, everyone was judging me. I was like, you know what, fine. I'm never gonna see him again. I'm gonna just pull around. Forget about it. Okay, they're laughing at me. Sure. And and I was like, maybe play it off like I got other people in the car, but the windows weren't tinted. They saw it was just me, and they're pointing. Freaking 4 cheeseburger guy over here. And so I get up to the first window. I'm like, all right, ready for my order? And he's like, oh, you need a receipt? And I was like, yes, I would love a receipt. And he's like, oh, wait, you're a 4 cheeseburger guy. And I was like, huh? He's like, yeah, you ordered online, so you got 4 cheeseburgers, but you don't need a receipt. And I was like, okay, you don't have to say that, but yeah, I got. All right, second window, cool. So I don't know why this is such a big deal. It was freaking National Cheeseburger Day. I just assumed everyone else would be getting the maximum amount of allotted cheeseburgers at this time. So then the final icing on the cake was I pull up and I finally get this bag, and I don't know if news had spread through. Maybe the last guy who was talking to me, because he was the one that talked to me on the megaphone or whatever, that announced that I was just this big cheeseburger addict. I was like, okay, that'll be the end of it. That was a one-on-one conversation kind of thing. But I could hear the murmurs throughout in the background. I got 4 cheeseburgers, and it was spreading throughout the freaking restaurant. That when I got to the second window, this tiny little lady holds this thing up like I was the king of McDonald's. He's like, "Your 4 cheeseburgers." I was like, "Is it not that big of a deal?" Like I didn't know why I was giving the business. Sure, I got it for $2, but still, I didn't know why it was such a big deal to get cheeseburgers on Cheeseburger Day. So I thought about being embarrassed for a second, but I just thought it was so funny that I was just like this mythical legend who's just obsessed and hooked on these cheeseburgers. And I loved them, dude. And I didn't mean to order. Well, I mean, I meant to order, but I didn't want to get 4 cheeseburgers just to eat in one sitting. But you better believe I did. At that point where I was the cheeseburger king, I mean, it was McDonald's, but you know what I mean. I had no choice but to consume them all, and I should have just sat on the sidewalk right outside and just looked at everyone passing them by and wow, he's got 4 cheeseburgers. Hey, 4 cheeseburger guy. Whoa, dude, let's put him in the parade. Let's just point and laugh at this kid. So I had a great time, and I thought it was funny, and I loved that. So from now on, dude, I am the cheeseburger king. So I thought that was so fun. What else has been going on, guys? Nothing much on set. I have no interesting set stories. Oh, dude, there was one thing that was kind of interesting. I try to be very conversational with people, and like I said, I'm not stoic. I'm like, hey, what's going on? Tell me about what's going on. Yeah, how's your life? How's everything? You feeling good? I love your shirt. Love your sunglasses. You didn't know I knew you had them. But there are certain conversations that I struggle getting into, and usually they're just politic related or things that are, way above my knowledge, which you don't run into usually with people in my age group. We're kind of just dumb and lackadaisical and just kind of saying whatever. Oh, there's that. And it's just kind of point and talk. But I stumbled across a couple people from set, and I heard quantum mechanics. I was like, quantum mechanics? I thought it was a joke, but they were actually discussing quantum mechanics just out loud, out in the open, and I had no idea what they're talking about. And I was making a joke, yeah, you know what they're talking about? He's like, yeah, quantum. And he started talking about quantum mechanics. I was like, does everybody know about quantum mechanics? So I heard quantum particles, and talking about the relativity of time and space and the astral plane and existence and future and everything, dude. Everything that's way above my pay grade. And I was like, how is this happening? And I was asking him, I was like, how do you know about this? Did you just spend this time? Did you pay attention to school? Did you go to college for this? And then they told me that they were stoners, right? So when you get really high, apparently, he said this. I'm not trying to just dig and say that you get really stupid, or I have no idea if this would be coming off bad, but I'm speaking the way he told me this, and I thought this was actually really interesting. He said that when you get really high, that your brain just kind of wanders, and I guess they found a higher plane of existence or something, and so they decided to learn quantum mechanics. But I was just kind of fascinated by these kind of people that I had never heard them, like, they're not stupid or anything, but I'd never heard them discuss anything of this level. And immediately I was like, holy crap, I need to go get a coffee and fill it with Mountain Dew so I feel like I'm not such a child in this conversation. I just spit everywhere. Anyways, yeah, so if everyone else knows quantum mechanics, that's something you should put out there so I can, kind of contribute, because I need quantum particle jokes. I don't have anything right now because I don't understand it at all. But I can eat the crap out of some cheeseburgers, dude. 4 of them. So anyways, I think that's actually everything I have to talk about. Guys, I love you so much. It is late. I do have to edit this, and I probably won't get some sleep, but isn't that a thought, man? Just look at me and just know that I'm going to do everything right and correctly, and things still won't work out for me. And that's unfortunate. Now, do not feel sorry for me. I want you to laugh, okay? I want you to feel joy, because I'm not suffering, right? I'm not suffering, but I am very unfortunate, right? It sucks, right? It's not a good circumstance, and I'm not suffering, I'm not really hurting, but it's you have to see the humor. So I want you to not feel bad for me. I want you to think about my situation. I want you to smile. I want you to say, wow, that just doesn't make any sense. That's not fair. But is fair funny? No, it's not. If all things go well, if everything goes according to the plan, that's just life, right? If you're playing I don't know how soccer, I shouldn't have said soccer, but if you're playing a football game and everything's just going back and forth, is that funny? No. Can it be interesting sometimes? Sure. But if someone just starts breaking the rules, are you talking, huh? If someone pulls off a freaking peanut brittle, or in the middle of, he's like, the quarterback goes like this, he throws the football, and it just pulls off a bunch of freaking, clown things, just endless rope. Yeah, I'd be interested. I'd be loving it. It's not according to plan. Is it fair? I don't know if it's, I don't know where I was going with that. Guys, it is late. Thank you so much for tuning in. This has been Full Circus, right? We are not stoic here. We are having the time of our life, and I love you guys so much. So make sure you get as many cheeseburgers as you can. Make sure you don't be stoic, unless that's your thing. But even then, don't do that. If that's your thing, get a new thing. Okay? Have some fun. You don't have to be the craziest guy. You don't have to have a podcast. You don't have to love yourself to the point that you're narcissistic like yours truly. But just have a little fun. You don't have to speak for the sake of being entertaining, but stoicism. But anyways, yeah, don't be stoic. Eat some cheeseburgers and make yourself laugh. So if you do anything going forward, if you get anything from this podcast, if you were listening to this as a stoic person, like, I can't wait to get some information out of this guy. I want some nice education, some wisdom, something intellectual to gain in my life. One, you came to the wrong place. You can leave to go somewhere else. But I will say, just for this moment, let me drop with a sense of stoicism and say, if you are going to live your life, it is important to take care of yourself, both physically and mentally. And that includes doing things that bring you joy. And part of that is humor. So make yourself laugh today. Was that not stoic? Guys, hey! Have some fun! I'll see you in the next episode. This has been Full Circus! Peace! Oh, I'm not going to sleep at all, am I?